Hello, my name is Liza Reyes, the county's nutritionist with Cooking with Wellness. This series is a segment where we share healthy cooking tips that are quick and easy that can be prepared at home. This first part of the year, the wellness program has been focusing on heart health, as according to the American Heart Association, heart disease is the leading cause of death in America. For heart health, we want to focus on foods such as foods with fiber, such as vegetables, fruit, and whole grains, fatty fish, such as salmon, sardines, mackerel, tuna, that helps us lower cholesterol, and whole grains such as oats, quinoa, brown rice, and whole grain breads, pasta, and cereal. Unsalted nuts, almonds, walnuts, and pistachios. So today we're going to learn how to prepare an easy and delicious heart-healthy meal. We're going to cook Oregano chicken breasts, herb lemon quinoa, roasted green beans with squash, and tomatoes. For our Oregano chicken recipe, the ingredients are 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 2.5 tablespoons of dry oregano. We have 1/3 cup of lemon juice, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper. We have about a tablespoon of grated garlic, and 2.5 to 3 pounds of chicken breast, boneless, skinless. I'm going to start with Oregano chicken, main dish, and this dish was inspired by a friend at the courthouse that she prepares a chicken oregano dish. It's not quite as hers, but I believe this will be nice and delicious and heart healthy for us. So we are going to go ahead, we have our oven preheated at 350. We're going to go ahead and place this chicken in our baking pan. It's a nice size of chicken breasts. You do want to flatten them so they could go ahead and cook evenly. If not, you're going to have some parts that are uneven cooked. We are going to go ahead and drizzle about 1/3 cup of olive oil. Okay, my dispenser doesn't want to. There you go. And remember, olive oil is good for us. It's a good healthy fat, a fat that will help us to lower our LDLs. I'm going to go ahead and switch it around. I'm going to add my oregano. And the oregano, you want to go ahead, rub it against your hands as this infuses the oil. This is something that my friend at the courthouse did stress out when she does her Oregano chicken. And so oregano has very good properties as it helps to fight inflammation. It supports immune health. And it improves our digestion because it supports our good gut flora. And see, you already smell that oregano. Just by rubbing it, you're rubbing the oil, infusing the aroma. And believe it or not, but oregano does have some vitamin K, does have magnesium, and a little bit of iron. So oregano is really good for us. And if it's for inflammation, of course, that's good for our heart. And then go ahead and pour the lemon juice. That's going to tenderize it nicely. And we are going to now drizzle the salt and pepper. So I'm going to sear it on the range for a little bit and then place it back in the baking dish, and then we're going to place it in the oven. And this is about a tablespoon of garlic. As you know, that garlic's also very good for our heart. And I'm just going to go ahead and turn that around. Make sure your chicken is nice and coated. And I'll add some oregano on the other side. It smells good with oregano. It's not even cooked. Since I already have oil on my pan, just gonna put it straight on the pan. So we're gonna just sear it for a few minutes. Once it browns a little bit, we'll place it back in the pan and then we'll place it in the oven. Okay, chicken is seared now. We're gonna place it in the baking pan. It smells good. So this just allows for the juices to stay in. And let me get this. Pour that juices from the pan, the marinade. And we're gonna go ahead and place it in the oven for about 30 minutes at 350. Next, we have our side dish of quinoa with lemon. We have a cup of quinoa, and this quinoa has been rinsed, so you could go ahead and remove some of the starch. We have a cup and 3/4 cups of chicken broth, low sodium chicken broth for flavor. You could add water if you want to go ahead and limit intake of your sodium, but I am using low sodium. I have a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of comino, half a teaspoon of thyme. I have about a zest of 1 lemon and about half a tablespoon of grated garlic. We are going to go ahead and use some pepper just to add for flavor, olive oil to saute, and then at the end we're going to garnish with some nice toasted almonds to add some flavor to it. And those will be the ingredients for our herb quinoa with lemon. We're gonna go ahead and spray the pan with some olive oil. We're gonna add the quinoa. And remember, rinse your quinoa to go ahead and release, get rid of the starch on it. Just break it up. You're going to go ahead and add your salt. A little bit of comino, and this is half a teaspoon for flavor. We're going to add a little bit of thyme. This is going to go ahead and make it nice and fragrant with the lemon zest. And this is at medium heat. Kind of like you're wanting to toast the quinoa. We're gonna add half of this grated garlic. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add the cup, 1 3/4 cups of chicken broth, and this is low sodium chicken broth. Pour it slowly. And remember, you can add water if you want to save on the sodium even more. You can smell already the nice herbs. I'm gonna go ahead and just crack a little bit of black pepper just for extra flavor. Mix it one more time. And here's a special ingredient of the lemon zest. And it's 1 lemon, the zest of 1 lemon. Mix it in. And now we're gonna go ahead and cook it for about 15 minutes. Now we're gonna go ahead and check our chicken breast. And it smells delicious. You can smell that oregano. We're gonna check the temperature. Careful, it's steamy. You always want to go ahead and make sure you're checking the temperature of your chicken. Your chicken does need to go ahead and be at 165 to know that it is truly cooked. You could go ahead and pile it and make sure that it is temperature. And it is reading at 150, so we're gonna let it on back in the oven for about another 5-10 minutes. And for our last side, we're gonna have our veggies, full of fiber in our green beans, cherry tomatoes, squash. We are using 12 ounces of trimmed green beans, 12 ounces of yellow squash and quartered, and then 2 cups of cherry tomatoes, half sliced. Italian seasoning for flavor, we're gonna use 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I do have a little bit of green onion chives for some pungent taste, and I have some grated garlic that we're gonna have, maybe like about half a teaspoon will be good. So we have the oven preheated at 425. We're gonna go ahead and pour some olive oil. You wanna use parchment paper so it's easier for cleanup and it won't burn your veggies. I think the green beans will fit here. See the nice colors. Add the squash. And remember, for heart healthy, it's important to have your fruits and vegetables. Focus on vegetables that have the skin, that you want to eat the skin, because that fiber is what helps us to go ahead and increase our fiber. And more fiber we consume, that helps us to lower our cholesterol. I'm gonna add a little bit of this grated garlic that we're gonna mix in. I'm gonna add a little bit of this green onions, and I'll add some more at the end when it's done. And just a little bit of more olive oil. Some a little Italian seasoning that will really bring out the flavors in the vegetables. Put a little bit of pepper. And the salt, I'll just flavor it just slightly, but at the end when we're done roasting them. You want to mix that so all the veggies are covered with olive oil. And that goes into the oven at 425 for about 20 minutes. So the quinoa smells good already. It's ready. So we want to go ahead and turn it off and let it sit for about 5 minutes. But at this time, I'm going to go ahead and add a garnish. I do like to add roasted almonds. And I probably add like about a quarter cup. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of garbanzo. Garbanzo is very high in fiber. And so I'm going to add maybe about half a cup. It adds a nice texture. It does bring out the flavor with the lemon zest. You want to use a fork to fluff the quinoa and let it sit for 5 minutes at least. Okay, our chicken is cooked already. It smells delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and slice your chicken. I guess the grain looks nice and juicy. Wish you were here. It smells good. We're gonna go ahead and place that so it could be in the marinade. Okay, now we're ready to the moment of plating our plate. Got that nice chicken. Juicy, fragrant. Easy to do. Let me go ahead and get our quinoa. Our quinoa smells super delicious, high in fiber and protein. You're gonna add that nice crunch from the chickpeas and the almonds. And then we have our roasted veggies. And just look at that. Garnish with a little bit of green onions. And you have your nice and delicious, heart healthy meal. Thank you so much for cooking with wellness today. I hope you enjoy our segment and our heart healthy section of cooking with wellness, our meals. Thank you.